Hello, everybody. I wanted to make a quick video covering another topic that comes up quite frequently on my live streams. Woolie, can you make a tier list for all the classes? Or, Woolie, what is the best class in the game? I know they're called survivors, but sometimes class just comes to mind first. Before I get into the details, let me start by giving y'all the answer. This is for you guys who just click to get the answer that's in the title. Objectively, the strongest class in the game is the engineer, simply due to him getting 3 times the effect of his items. There you go. Yes, his turrets die and must be replaced. They aren't always using the items, but even in that context, he still is a tad bit ahead of everyone else. If you want more details on his playstyle, check out my engineer character guide by clicking on the top right corner. I'm gonna try and use the little white notification pop-out thingy. I've never used it before, so hopefully it works. Anyway, for the rest of you who want some more detail, let's have a quick discussion. As always, leave your opinions and feedback in the comments below, especially if you disagree with whatever I say. I'll read it all, I promise. So yes, the engineer is objectively the strongest. The flip side is that he is also fundamentally different from the rest of the survivors in his playstyle. Again, if you want the full details, check out my engineer character guide, but I'll sum it up quickly into playing the engineer doesn't make you better at the game, it makes you better at the engineer. His approach to most situations in the game is different enough from the rest of the characters that he sits in his own little bubble, if you catch my drift. However, despite engineer having a leg up to everybody else, all characters are viable. There's not a single class that cannot play on Monsoon to the point where enemies stop spawning. Every class is strong enough to break the game. If you don't know, currently once you reach around the 3-hour mark, enemies will just literally stop spawning, and all you do for the rest of the game is run, activate the teleporter, and then move on to the next stage. That's all you do. You're basically just too strong for enemies to bother even spawning. So that's what I mean by that. Every class can reach this point. In my opinion, some classes have a bit of an easier time doing so. Anyone whose name doesn't rhyme with Commando, but everyone can do it. As in, you can play whatever you want and still have a good time while also feeling very strong versus the monsters. As I just stated, Commando is in a bit of a weird place in the moment. He lacks in the AoE department and his R just feels awkward. I think adding a small buff to his shift, either giving it a few immunity frames or giving him a movement speed and attack speed increase for a short time after you use it, will remedy most of that sluggishness. And currently his R does not scale with your attack speed like I feel it should. The Mercenary's R is a good example of this. It's a similar functioning skill where it hits multiple times in a single cast, but the key difference is that the more attack speed you have, the more hits the R does in the same time frame. Commando's R, on the other hand, simply attacks faster in the same time frame, as in all attack speed does is make the hits come out faster. The skill still has the exact same cooldown, meaning attack speed with the Commando just feels off with his R. I really believe the R should scale like the Mercenaries. There's no reason why it shouldn't. A lot of people like to give the Artificer flack for being weak. I don't believe she's weak, she's just different. Not in an engineer way, but in her own. The biggest offense I hear is that she's weak due to lack of mobility and consistent damage. For one, tons of classes, if not all of them, are weak without mobility. Getting a couple wax quails and stacking energy drinks and goat hooves is amazing on absolutely everybody for a reason, okay? So I don't see that as a unique trait to her. Secondly, her lack of consistent damage is what the character is literally built around. She's intended to be a burst class. Dump your load on a target, kite around for a bit, rinse and repeat. Yes, you can build around her R, her most reliable source of proccing on-hit effects, but it's short range, and the fact that you can't sprint while using it makes it not a viable option in the endgame. Seriously, if you build around her R with attack speed, sticky bombs, and usual on-hit stuff, it will get you killed at any point past like 30 minutes. Just try it out. So rather, try building around some burst damage. Stack crowbars, crit chance, and backup mags. Rely on your M1 and your M2 as primary sources of damage. Also get fuel cells and some high damage equipment like the Prion Accumulator, but better yet, the Royal Capacitor, and you'll be in a good spot. Check out my Artificer build guide for more details. The link is going to be in the top right if I can figure out how to do it. However, the discussion on the Artificer brings me to my final point in regards to character strengths. Almost all of the power of your run currently comes from the items you get, not the class you choose. And that's kind of good, right? As in, you can pick anybody and be viable. But I feel the survivor you choose doesn't have as much as an impact on your run as it should. Every class, even the Artificer, is strong with the ukulele, 20 sticky bombs, 10 syringes, and 100% crit chance. I understand this is by design. The items are the integral part of how each run plays out, but there's a little too much emphasis on their power at the moment, in my opinion. Every class more or less feels the same after a certain point. You just use whatever damage ability you have, watch the screen die, that's it. Ooh. Part of this is due to a lack of a real challenge in the end game, which is like anything past 50 minutes in my opinion, but that's a topic for another video because I can go way in depth on that. Anyway, I kept this video a little shorter than usual because I, number one, want to get your guys' opinions on these topics, so please leave your comments below. But number two, I want to go stream, baby. Twitch.tv/Woolie Gaming, by the way. It's all one word, Twitch.tv/Woolie Gaming. So once this video goes live, I'm going live, baby. So check out my stream. Thank you all for watching and be on the lookout for my multi-character guide coming in hot soon.